Does it say anything? Oh,
Does it say anything for you?
I see that like Homemade Social said welcome.
Welcome to Homemade Socials, Becoming Unfocused webinar. Your host, Becca Booker. Send any questions down below.
Oh, I think it's just loading. Yeah, I see you. It's working.
Okay, then I will leave you.
Okay, see ya.
Bye. If you're in Homemade Social, can you turn down the volume, please? Hi, everyone. Okay. Okay, if you're just tuning in, I'd love if you guys could comment where you are watching from. Also, let's see. It looks like my whole screen is not presenting right now. Okay, there we go. I'm so excited to get started. If you're live, comment where you're tuning in from. Hi, everyone. Oh, my dad's from Sacramento. Turkey, Houston. If you're in Texas, I'm jealous because I want to go to Buc-ee's. Okay, lovely. I'll get started in just a few more minutes. I'm just waiting for the room to fill up. I was just in Tucson this past weekend. Mm. Okay, everyone. I think it's time to get started. We have 54 people in the viewing. I'm hoping other people will tune in as well. I think we have about 250 signed up. So let's get started. Welcome to Becoming Unfuckwithable. That is my word, my phrase for 2024. We're going to be focusing today on creating boundaries and systems in your service-based business that fuel you, your team, and your clients. So if you don't know who I am before, thank you so much for joining. It's an honor to present some of the things I've learned along the way to you all today. But my name is Becca. I'm the owner and CEO of Homemade Social. We primarily focus on social strategy, and I also oversee advertising, organic socials, and campaign concepts. I'm from Santa Rosa, California. So if you're from the Bay, give me a shout out in the comments. I'm also an Aries and an Enneagram 3. So if you're familiar with personality tests, I think that says a lot about who I am. They go hand in hand very well. I've also worked in social media since 2012, and I started my social media freelancing career full time in October of 2017. And then I rebranded and grew to what is now Homemade Social in February of 2019. So we're about to celebrate our fifth birthday next month, which is crazy. And we are a 11-person agency. We have a team of 4 interns, but we have 7 of us on payroll, and we're an all-female team, so we have a lot of fun. And I hope you can join us through the full hour of the webinar, because if you stay on through the end, I do have a live only discount for a special offer that is worth $500 at the end. So be sure to stay on. Next up, okay, so through my journey with Homemade Social, I have had endless possibilities presented to me that I never thought were possible. I've been flown by clients to the Bahamas for content shoots. I've gotten to go to New York Fashion Week. I've spoken on numerous panels at various universities, and just have been able to grow my business in a enjoyable and healthy way for the past 5 years. And my personal life, because of that, I have seen a lot of great milestones happen in the last 5 years as well. I got a puppy. I got a house with my fiance. We got engaged this time last year, and we just got a house in September. And I'm also getting married in April. So it's been a really busy season of life. But one of the reasons I like to include this information is to show that, like, you can be a CEO and have a work-life balance and do all the fun things that you want to, because that's the reason why we work as hard as we do. And then also, this is new. As of yesterday, I got an email saying that Homemade Social was recently included in the top influencer marketing and UGC agencies for 2024 by Vendry. So it's super exciting. I actually just shared the link to this on my LinkedIn yesterday, if you're looking for the link. But I feel really fortunate, and I'm so proud of our team. So during this quick webinar, we're going to be covering all the boundaries I've implemented in my calendar, phone, email, and my personal social media to help get our agency to close $778,000 in revenue. Oops, I meant to say in 2023. We closed that number in 2023. Obviously, 2024 hasn't happened. But it hasn't always been this way. This growth didn't come easy, and I didn't know what I was doing as a young entrepreneur. I had never owned a business before. I didn't take necessarily like entrepreneurship classes, or have really any mentors in my life who could like help me learn how to grow and scale an agency or just like a business in general. So in 2020, we all know what happened in 2020. I had been in business for 2 years, and I was working 45 to 55 hours a week. I was literally starting to hate my job, which was resulting in me just like starting to hate and resent some of my clients. And I was starting to hate social media. I'm sure you guys know it's a tough time to be spending a lot of time on the internet, and it was really taking a toll on my mental health. And I would get texts from clients at all hours of the day that said something like this: "We need to change all of the ads to direct to this link ASAP. We launched with this just now." Like, okay, thanks. Thanks for the warning and notification, buddy. And also this: "Becca, can you give me a quick call? It should only take 5 minutes." And I'm like, hey, unfortunately, I'm literally off for the day, and I have to remind the client, like, per our agreement, per my office hours, like, I can't do this right now. And it just felt violating. I felt like had to always be on. But at the same time, I was making 6 figures, and I felt like my business was booming. Like, leads kept coming in, people kept booking with us. A lot of businesses were moving their marketing dollars to be put into social media. And so I felt like I was kind of in the right place at the right time, but I just didn't have any boundaries or systems in place to help out my mental health so that I could actually put the energy into scaling my business. So I actually pulled up some screenshots from my iPhone camera roll at this time. And here's what I found. These are the things I screenshotted. For example, 2020 is a leap year and it leaped right into some bullshit. Next up, I wrote, doing social media for a living is great. I'm tethered to unethical and toxic platforms all day, and everyone I've ever met thinks they could do my job better because they have 500 Instagram followers. And then this next screenshot, I actually screenshotted in October of 2020. So this was when I was like at my breaking point and I was like, something has to change. I screenshotted, just because you're home all day doesn't mean that people are allowed access to your energy 24/7. So like at this point, I was like, I am sick of this. I need to change and something has to happen. So after I implemented the 4 boundaries that we're going to discuss in our webinar today, it allows me to now work 35 hours a week. Our agency made 778K last year. I'm able to max out my retirement accounts. I own 2 properties, and this is all while managing a team of 11 and planning my wedding for April 5th, 2024. But also my team's workload has improved as well. Like it wasn't just like I told my team that I was like, peace out, I'm heading out on half day Fridays. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. 6 of my employees are full-time and work 35 hours a week, and we have 1 new part-time EA, and we also have 1 contracted team member who works part-time from the East Coast, and then our remaining 4 interns work 15 hours a week. So despite our team reducing working hours by 12.5%, so reducing our hours from 40 hours a week in 2020 to 35 hours a week in 2022 to 2023, our agency actually achieved 35% more revenue year over year with the same number of team members. And then this increase in revenue allowed us to further increase salaries and provide more benefits to our employees. And the increased salaries resulted in staff costs increasing by 34%, which allowed us to directly improve our team's productivity, quality of work, and overall employee retention. And ultimately, the change that was needed here was that I had to change my self-worth and define what I wanted my life to look at. It could have been easy to just accept, like, oh yeah, it's just normal for me to have to reply to these text messages late at night, or to have to deal with last minute requests when clients don't communicate or aren't organized enough to be able to let me know of these changes that need to happen, with prior notice. And so I initially sought help via therapy. I used Better Talk or Talk Better. I always forget what that one's called. I also worked with a business coach. We hired a communications coach to help us like communicate how we were going to implement our boundaries to our clients. And I also learned a lot about boundaries and myself and manifestation and self-worth through the To Be Magnetic membership and podcast. The podcast is completely free, and they do have a membership that I've learned a lot from, and I would highly recommend looking into that as well if you're kind of like new to this self-help and self-actualization journey. So I redefined my boundaries in 4 key areas. The first is going to be my calendar. I feel like this is an area where we saw a lot of improvements. So first is office hours. The secret to maintaining a healthy work-life balance is communicating your office hours clearly to your clients and prospective clients as well. That way, new clients who are inquiring about working with you know exactly what they can expect before they sign a contract with you. So at Homemade Social, we're available to clients via email Monday through Thursday between 9 and 5 and Fridays between 9 and 12. And then I recommend stating these hours of operations in your contract and your new client welcome packet as well. So make sure it's in contract, but I'm going to guess a lot of people honestly skim over a contract. And so we created a document called a new client welcome packet that goes over every important policy that a client needs to know. And we review this with them live on a call before their start date. And then I also make a note to let clients know how quickly they should expect us to reply. So for example, we always say we'll reply within 24 hours to their email. That way, if I do have an email come in at 4 p.m. on a Thursday and I'm about to head out for the day, or I have a couple tasks I really need to get to, I don't feel this pressure to reply to that client right away, or I can let them know confirming receipt, I will get back to you tomorrow. I also would highly recommend including your office hours in your email signature if you haven't already. That way, it's like literally right in front of the client or the person trying to communicate with you, um, so that there's no confusion or gray area when they are trying to get a hold of you. Okay, so if you could do me a favor, comment in the chat the last time you took a real unplugged vacation. I'll there's a little bit of a delay, so I'm gonna give it a moment to all pop up. I might have to open up Studio. One second. Okay. I'm just seeing everyone's notifications about saying congratulations. That's very nice of you. Thank you. Okay, people are saying never. Uh, Almost never. Yeah, I had a feeling this would happen. Wait, what is happening to my screen? Okay. January 2021, my honeymoon. Jessica, that makes me sad because I'm prepping to go on my honeymoon in May. November, okay, Maria's ahead of us all. Great job, Marie. Last summer for a week or so, but it was tough. Yeah. 2 years ago, wow, honeymoon must be like the only socially acceptable time that we're all unplugging. October 2022. Okay. Okay, that really helps. Literally never. I had a feeling that this is what would happen. Oh, hey Meg, I recognize your name. Good to see you. Good to hear from you. Okay. So this next part in my calendar will hopefully provide a lot of clarity to you guys. So out of offices, I have some major calendar tips. So, we're going to communicate holidays and upcoming out of offices with your team and your clients at least 2 weeks in advance, if not more. So, like, we have already notified our clients the days that I'm going to be out of office for my wedding, which is at the end of March and April. But it's important to let clients know that you will not be checking or responding to emails while you're gone. Like, you have to set the stage, let them know this, like, I will be completely unavailable, but it's also very nice of you to be able to provide someone who they can contact if they do need immediate assistance while you are away. So whether this is someone who's on your team or if you're able to like communicate with a VA or someone who can kind of just like hold down the shop while you're out, I think that's a really great option. And if you'd like, you can go ahead and screenshot this template. This is a great out of office email template. So we set this up automatically to go out when I'm out of office. I say something like, thanks so much for reaching out. I'm currently out of office and will not be checking my inbox until I return on blank. And obviously, this should not come as a surprise to like any client who is emailing me. They are already aware that I'm going to be out of office. We've already sent all content for review and worked ahead to the best of my ability. And they know that I'm going to get back to them once I've returned. And then I say for immediate project needs, contact this person. For new project inquiries, contact this person. For accounting needs, contact this person. So those might change depending on your business and how you are structured. But that way they know exactly who to contact if they need to get a hold of someone immediately. And then my favorite thing is to say for anything else, I look forward to connecting upon my return. So I think that's a really good way to just say, hey, I cannot help you. Here's who can. I'll be back soon. And then, as you guys know, we do half day Fridays. It's everyone's favorite policy. We started implementing summer Fridays last summer when we were off at noon. So, summer 2020, actually 2022 is when we implemented it. And we loved it so much that I wrote it into our contract, but I had to wait for all clients' contracts to be renewed to get everyone on the policy. So, it did take a while. It took us about a year to like get it officially in our contract so that by summer 2023, we could just leave it as Eternal Summer Fridays, starting, in on Memorial Day weekend for eternity. And it's really nice. It's definitely our team's favorite policy. But I also have a out of office email that you guys can screenshot that you can set up on Fridays at noon. So should you wish, I do not do this, but my friend Courtney, who owns a travel agency, does this. So I say, thank you for your email. Please note Homemade Social has implemented year-end summer Fridays. This allows our team a moment to reset and refresh so that we are able to better serve our clients. And then I say, I look forward to connecting upon my return. So again, if you want to be overly communicative, I think this is great to implement. It might not totally be necessary, especially if it's in your contract and in your email signature. But moving on to more calendar boundaries, let's talk meeting policies. Some things I've implemented for our client meetings. No same day client meetings unless it's a complete emergency. No meetings on Fridays, internal or external. No meetings before 10 a.m. or after 4. This kind of allows me to bookend my day with productivity, mapping out what needs to get done, or delegating what needs to get done, or reviewing what my team did during that day. I only take discovery calls, or some of you may know them as lead calls, on Wednesdays and Thursdays. And then I also block off an hour for lunch every day. This doesn't always happen. Like sometimes an internal meeting needs to pop up and has to happen. But that way I at least get 30 minutes, if anything, to myself just to like remind myself to eat. I'm not the kind of person who ever forgets to eat. It's more so just like, do I have the time to eat? So it's nice to have that blocked off. Okay, moving on to the next boundary area is my phone. And you guys are about to have your mind blown. How many of you guys have heard of open phone? And I'm going to go check the chat thing again. And I know there's a delay, but let me know if any of you guys use open phone. If you've been around Homemade Social for a while, you might have heard us talk about it before. Oh, yes, and my team is monitoring the questions in the chat box, and I'll answer all of them at the end. Ooh, a cruise with no service sounds like a great way to go out of office. Does a week between Christmas and New Year's count? No. Okay, has anyone heard of open phone? Spark hasn't heard of it. Has anyone has? If anyone has heard of it? Wait, I'm screaming because it's exactly what I need. Yes, Stephanie. You're welcome. I got you. Okay, we're gonna go into it. It is something you guys need. And I didn't have this the first time I did this boundaries webinar, but we apparently drove them so much traffic the last time we did this that they offered us a coupon code to give you guys. So you're welcome. So, okay, Open Phone, it's $15 a month. It's an app that you can install on your phone, and it gives you a new phone number to give to your clients. So, like, it makes it so that you don't have to have a second phone, but you have a second phone number. It's just via an app on your phone. And what's amazing is, and this is the best part, you can set up do not disturb to automatically turn on after hours so that when clients text or call you, they get an automatic text saying like, hey, you've reached us after hours. And they also get sent straight to voicemail. The other great things are you can connect this to Slack and you can grant your team access to that Slack channel. That way your team can see any Slack or any like texts or calls coming through. And it also has a desktop app as well. So kind of like if you're texting on your MacBook, you can like text clients via this app as well. It is amazing. But be sure to write down this link where you can get 10% off the first 3 months of OpenPhone. It is openphone.com/perks/homemade or dash social. If you'd like to take a picture of it, I'll give you guys a second on the screen to do so. And I'll check the chat while I leave that open for you. 1 second. Okay. Meg, I'm surprised you didn't find it user friendly. Some client text wouldn't come through, which is odd. That is weird. I've never had an issue with it. Okay. So, OpenPhone. This is the automatic message I set up on OpenPhone if they text us. And I'll get to more of this in a second. But I'll say thank you so much for your message. Homemade Social observes a strict no texting policy. I know, shocker. And you have reached us outside of hours. Please email Becca at homemadesocial.com and I'll get back to you during normal business hours. Email communication better allows our team to respond more timely, more fully, and keep records of our conversations. Thanks so much. Have a great weekend. So this could be something that you could set up on the weekends. Pretty amazing, and I highly recommend you guys sign up for it. It has changed my life. Okay, our next area of boundaries, we're going to chat communication. And within this, let's go into the Gmail app or your email app, Slack, and then texting and calls. We'll get into that a little bit further than just open phone. So I actually don't have the email app on my phone, or at least I guess I do, but I don't have it connected to my work phone. It's just my personal stuff, like for shopping. So I deleted the email and Gmail app from my phone maybe like 3 or 4 years ago as like an experiment. I noticed that I it just like caused me so much anxiety to like have the first thing I see on my phone when I wake up would be like an email from a client. Like I just felt this pressure to like hop right on, answer it, and help them. And that was just serving no one. And so if you aren't comfortable completely deleting the email app or the inbox from your phone, you can just decide to turn off notifications to reduce the temperature or the temperature, the temptation to like clock in after hours and check it. That way it's just like it's available to you, but you're never going to be notified on your phone. And then if you have to, like I can go to gmail.com on Safari or on Google, what is it called? Chrome. If I absolutely have to. Like if I know I'm, let's say, at an appointment during office hours and I need to flag something or reply to a client, I can get back to them ASAP. But again, I have that clause in our contract that states that we don't need to reply to them for 24 hours. So I'm kind of protected if I know I'm just going to be gone for like an hour, right? Next, boundaries with Slack. We use Slack only for internal communication. So we do not communicate with clients at all on Slack, but it is an amazing way to communicate within our team. We do work a hybrid schedule. So on Tuesdays and Fridays, we work remotely. And then the rest of the week, like Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, we work in office. So it's really nice to keep us all up to date, even on days that we are remote. But I would recommend still setting up do not disturb to automatically turn on after hours. My team's really good about not working past 5 and like messaging each other after 5, but it's just nice to be able to clock out. I do have some like automations that are set up to like notify the team in Slack if, say, like a client pays an invoice or if we have a new lead that, and those might come through after hours, but this way I'm not notified until I log back on the next workday at 9 a.m. Also, it's possible in Slack to sync your calendar so your team automatically knows when you're busy in a meeting or out of office. So I took a screenshot of what that looks like on the bottom left. It shows that I'm active, but I'm currently in a meeting. That way my team knows like, okay, I can, like, she'll get back to me later and they know they can expect me to reply, not urgently. Okay, and going a little more deeper into boundaries of texting, we actually say that texting and DMs are strictly prohibited for client communication. We have this written in our contract, and I'm sure you guys have experienced a client who will like ask you to do something on a DM and you're trying to delegate it to a team, or you need to copy and paste a link to your MacBook, or you just can't communicate as fully as you wish. This just helps to avoid that issue. And I also clearly state no voice text. I absolutely hate a voice text because there's no record. There's no record of communication. And oftentimes they expire. And so I can't go back and like re listen or share that information with a team member who might be working on that client's account. So it's important to state these in your contract as well.
And then let's chat social media boundaries. Obviously, I'm on social media a lot, which is a good thing. I love social media. I love working in social media, but I have two little hacks to help you with your boundaries here. So, first is a screen time limitation app called Opal. Yes, I know that iPhone does have its own screen time limitations like built in, but this is that feature on steroids. Um, it basically allows you to set custom restrictions. And then I set it so that Monday through Friday, my social apps are restricted between 10 and 3 p.m. And as you can see in this like screenshot where it says difficulty normal, you can change that so that it can be harder or easier for you to like quickly get in if you need to. So at the bottom it says I can take a break from my restrictions or I can leave early. So like I posted a story maybe 30 minutes before this webinar started, prompting other people to join in like for last minute sign up. So I just hit take a break and I like snoozed the restrictions for 5 minutes, went into Instagram and posted. But that way it just kicks me off after 5 minutes. I can't keep scrolling. I'm just off and it allows me to focus more on work. And I also do daily app limits. So I forget what I exactly set those to be, but let's say on Instagram, I can't spend more than an hour a day on Instagram or an hour a day on TikTok. And then I also have a setting that I think this is the coolest feature. If I am on Instagram or TikTok for 15 minutes straight, it kind of has this like doom scroll shut off feature that kicks you off the app if you've been on that app straight for 15 minutes. So it won't let me like doom scroll for more than 15 minutes at a time. And yes, you can hit take a break or leave early depending on the difficulty you want it to be. Like if you're, I don't know, working on something during this time. But it has helped my productivity and kind of helped me to like get my life back a little bit. And it makes me much more intentional with the time that I do spend on social media. More so that I even have more restrictions on the weekends just so that I can be a little more present and enjoy my time off. Lastly, let's chat service-based boundaries to put in place as soon as possible. This will kind of go into the nitty-gritty, particularly with references to being a social media agency owner and the boundaries specific to social media management. So some of this may be applicable or that you can rework. So for social media, make your scope of work explicitly clear in your proposal or whatever document it is that you use to agree to your packages with your clients. So make it clear that you're giving your clients X posts a week across 3 channels or something. So you don't want to say like, oh yeah, I'll manage your Instagram each month. You need to say like how many posts that's getting them or how many hours that's getting them, because you will come across a client who's going to take advantage of that and they're going to ask for like 30 posts a day. Also, in your contract, state an hourly rate that clients will be charged if you agree to take on any tasks outside of the contracted scope of work. So I always recommend doing a flat fee month to month pricing. So each month our clients pay the same fee. But if they need additional help that month with either more posts, an additional email, they have a new campaign that needs to go out last minute, they know that they're going to be billed at our hourly rate on top of their normal service package to have us help them with that. And this makes it clear to clients that while yes, I'm happy to help with additional projects here and there to help their business grow, it's going to come at a cost for our time. Also, I would recommend having approval and content request deadlines in place. This one has saved our team so much time. If rounds of revisions from your clients seem never ending or their responsiveness is causing delays in your processes or in how you're able to schedule out your marketing materials, add an approval deadline and revision limit to your contract. So for example, a content request deadline could be all content requests need to be made at least 2 weeks prior to the desired go live date. So let's say your client is planning on having a sale on St. Patrick's Day, which I think is like March 17th. You need to have all assets, coupon codes, links, photos, anything a marketing agency should need for a successful campaign to go live by March 3rd. So 2 weeks in advance. We also give clients 48 hours every week to approve their new round of content. So typically we send clients new content to approve on Wednesdays, and then we ask them to give us those edits back by 48 hours later on Fridays because we need time to schedule those posts before they go live on Monday. But it's also important to include what will happen if the client requests additional edits after the deadline has passed. And it's important to include what happens if the client gives no feedback or approval at all. So you can either have the discretion to publish posts as you see fit, maybe not publish posts at all if you don't feel comfortable getting those live. It's just important to clarify what needs to happen if that's the case. And just use your clearly defined scope, boundaries, and hourly rate to your advantage here. In regards to a content revision limit, we tell our clients they get 1 round of revisions over that 48-hour approval window, but we include what will happen if the revision limit has been met and the client still wants more edits. So a client knows if they need to make an additional round of edits, they are billed at our hourly rate for those edits. Again, use your clearly defined scope, boundaries, and hourly rate to your advantage here. And this just encourages clients to be both specific and comprehensive with their feedback, leaving little to no guessing work for you. Because clients know that they get 1 round, they're going to be like, hey, I don't like this. Instead of saying, hey, I don't like this headline here, they're going to be like, hey, I don't like this word. Can we change it to this? Or like it allows them to, or it forces them to like give a little more constructive feedback. That way you're not like guessing, okay, like I'm not sure what the client wants in this edited revision. Also, in your contract, state the client's obligations and responsibilities. I think contracts sometimes are, they're mostly centered around what you are responsible for, but it's important to have what the client is responsible for as well. So I would say leading an account to success is a two-way street and will require a level of responsiveness and information from the client. Like, you can't do this all on your own. And be clear about what is expected of them in your service agreement to ensure a productive partnership. So their responsibilities may include responding in a timely manner to prevent delays or a lapse in services, providing advance notice to cancel or reschedule a meeting to avoid missed meeting or late cancellation fees, and also providing access to information, imagery, or other assets that are reasonably requested to fulfill services. And always remember, if they don't pay you or if they are late on payment, it is time to pause your services for them. It's not fair to work for free. It's nothing like, I think sometimes these boundaries get confused and people are like, oh, it's fine, they'll pay me. Sometimes they don't. So it's important to have this clearly defined in your contract as well. You just deserve to be compensated for your time. So pause all activity and your services until payment is received. So that means no post go live. You don't send them anything for approval. You don't respond to their requests until you receive payment. And then also further discourage late payments or encourage on-time payments by stating in your contract that the interest rate the clients will be charged each day the payment is late. And this is something you can kind of go consult your accountant and see like what maybe they recommend with current interest rates, just to find like a fair number. Okay. Again, I want you guys to chat in the chat box here if any of this is relatable. Maybe you find you're working more than 40 hours a week. Maybe because you're working 40 hours a week and you're already slammed, you're hesitant to scale because you can't handle more work with how much time your clients are currently taking up. Maybe you feel the online advice doesn't exactly apply to you and your situation and your business here. You feel like you're spending too much time making client edits or content requests that should have been communicated to you by clients weeks prior. Maybe you struggle with client retention, or maybe you feel like you can't make an impact without burnout. If one of these is hitting close to home for you, please comment in the chat box. Also, I'm seeing your guys' comments in the chat box and they make me so happy. I'm glad you guys are like, oh my gosh, I didn't know I need these boundaries. Creative Cowboy, welcome to the party. Literally everything on this list. I'm so glad you guys are on the same page that I was. Like, I just remember feeling this way and there were no resources out there to really help me get my life back in order. Because I wanted to grow my business, but I wanted to have a personal life and, you know, good mental health as well. Your agency life for the past 3 years, I am so sorry. Okay, well, I'm glad you guys agree. But I want you guys to have this. I want you guys to feel like you're getting to this point where you're making 10K a month or more, that you have systems in your business to copy and paste, that you have summer Fridays all year long, that you're able to grow with the same clients year over year and help them navigate and grow their business just as you are, that you have an amazing team who you trust and respect, and that you can put the business in their hands when you want to disconnect and go on vacation, and that you have the ability to go on vacation and travel whenever you'd like. Wouldn't that be nice, guys? I'm checking the chat once more. I hope you guys can relate. Yes. Okay. Okay, lovely. Okay, so this is why I ultimately created what I'm here to tell you guys about as well. I hope you guys have found all this information really valuable, but honestly, this is just one chapter of what is the Soft Social Media Manager. I put together this course over most of last year alongside my team to put and brained up every single system, boundary, HR tip, financial tip that I used from getting my agency to where I was in 2020 to where I am now. And I have received really great feedback along the way. These are some screenshots we've received from clients and other students who have taken the course. And I have another amazing testimonial from another social media manager who already took and finished the course. She took it in like a week period. And she's on track to 3x her revenue in 2024 from where she was at in 2023. And when I spoke to her last in December, she was already starting the process to hire her first employee. So I promise these things work. I also wanted to include a side-by-side comparison of where we were at. So just in 2020, just in 2022, remember we were working 40 hours a week, except for the summer. We did do summer Fridays. We closed out at 574K. And then in 2023, we closed out working 35-hour weeks with 778K, actually almost 779, and that is a 35% increase, and that's with a 12.5% decrease in how many hours we worked. So in this course, it covers, like I said, this is just the things I went over today are just a chapter of what this course is covering. So I hope that you find so much value in this and you can see the value that I'm offering in all other areas of the course as well. But basically, I'm including what showing up as a social media looks like at every level as you scale. I also included the exact investments I recommend and regret making at each income level and who and when to hire. I included offers to create and boundaries to set within your offers, how I recommend pricing out different social media packages, the exact systems and processes we use to onboard our social media clients, and the day-to-day of how we operate our 10-person agency, creating a business that brings in long-term clients, reoccurring revenue, and selling, and also, and most importantly, just the mindset and energy required to succeed as a social media manager at each income level. So our chapters cover preparing your mind and biz for growth. Again, as you can probably tell from what I've talked about in this webinar, mindset and self-worth is really important, and the more inner work you can do, the more it will allow you to pour into your business. Also, identifying your sweet spot. We're also going to work out building on packages and pricing, landing higher paying clients, boundaries and contracts, systems and Asana, building and managing your team, and then finally I go into client retention. And that's not all. We also, in addition to all of those course chapters, we include a bunch of resources and downloads as well. So what's included in this course is our exact social media services lawyer approved contract that has all of these boundaries that I've mentioned in this course written into this contract. So the summer Fridays, the one revision limit, the 48-hour approval limit or approval window, like all of those are spelled out in this contract. All you have to do is plug and play and add in your information to make it relevant to your business. It also includes our download for how to set boundaries with social media clients, our new client onboarding checklist and 4 new client questionnaires, our content approval document, our meeting agenda template, our new client welcome presentation template. I mentioned this at the beginning of the webinar. Our social media proposal template, and also our client onboarding email templates. So it is packed with value. And so the soft social media manager is open for enrollment today, and we kind of have 2 different buckets. So I know some of you guys who have been in our community for a long time may have already had access to a lot of the downloads that are included in this course. So we have a option or 2 options on the left. For full access to the course, it just doesn't include any of the downloads. At full price, that's $1,997, or you can do a 3-month payment plan of $679 a month. But on the left, we have everything that's included with our downloads and the 8 chapters of the Soft SMM at full price. That's $2,997, and with a 3-month plan, it's $1,015 a month. I have a coupon code for you, so just hang on with me for like 2 more slides. This is Sammy. She is my student, our star student, who took the Soft SMM course in like 12 days. She powered through, and I saw that she had already finished the course when like some students hadn't even begun, and I was like, can I chat with you and see what you thought about the course? And we hopped on this Zoom, and she had the best things to say about that course. It gave me really great feedback and some requests that I already implemented and edited into the course material. But like I said, she's on track to make 3x revenue this year than she was last year. And when I talked to her in December, she was already in the works to hire her first employee. So I hope you guys see the value in this. I hope that 2024 is your year, that you are ready to commit to yourself, commit to your business, and really go all in, because the amount of revenue you could start improving and making more of this year, this is just like a fraction of this. This could be like half of a client if you sign a client in the next 30 days. But the exclusive coupon I have for you guys today is Boundaries, and it will get you an extra $500 off any of the offerings, either payment plans, the full price, and with or without the download. So the code is Boundaries, and it expires tonight. And if you'd like, the QR code is here. I'll leave this page up if you guys want to head to that site. But in the meantime, I'm going to have my team come in, and they've been taking notes on what questions you guys have been asking in the chat. And then we'll go into full chat response mode. So I will pull that up, and I'm here for any questions that you guys have. Thank you, Sharon. Okay, any questions? And I'm just waiting on my team to come in. Thank you.
They want to ask questions now too.
Okay. Oh, thank you so much. Okay. So I'm going to go through the questions that have been added into the chat so far. Okay. First question is, how often do you renew client contracts? Right now, our minimum agreement is 6 months long, and this is included in our contract download. Which you can buy the contract download alone. If you just need the contract, I believe it is for sale for $500 in our shop. So if you just want contract and to implement everything else on your own, that is a resource for you on our shop. Go and get it. So we have an automatic 6-month period, and then the client needs to provide us 30 days notice. So within 5 months, they need to let us know if they plan to renew. If not, it'll just automatically assume renewal. So essentially, the client becomes locked into their agreement for a year. So a full term is a year with us. And then regarding Open Phone, what would be the benefit to having this as a texting platform in addition to already having Slack? Okay, that's a great question. And sorry if this was confusing. We only use Open Phone with client communication, and we only use Slack with internal communication with my team. So Slack is only between me and the other Homemade Social employees, and Open Phone is the number that I give to our clients to get a hold of me should they need to contact me. Another question. Have these boundaries ever meant you missed a mistake or caused a big problem for a client, causing you to lose them? No, not necessarily, because these boundaries don't say like, I can't help you. These boundaries are in place to be like, let me help you better, right? So like I'm saying, I can do a better job. My team can have more creative freedom and more time to plan your marketing campaigns if you allow us 2 weeks in notice to be given all assets for a campaign. Also, same with the 48-hour approval window or 1 round of revisions. This forces clients to be more comprehensive and thorough with the feedback they're giving us. So it's honestly beneficial for both parties, and that way my clients know that my other clients aren't just going to be irresponsible, disorganized, poor communicators. They know that everyone's on the same policy and that we operate our agency like a well-oiled machine. Okay, and last question I have, and then I'll get to the new ones. Will this be available for download somewhere? I missed a couple of slides. No, so this webinar will not be available anywhere. It's live only. However, I am doing this webinar live once more at the same time on Thursday, January 18th. So if you want to tune in again next week, you're more than welcome to join that webinar as well. Okay, so let me get to the rest of the questions in the chat. Okay, is this course open for enrollment, or do you have an open close date? Yes, this course is always open for enrollment. The only kicker is the coupon code expires tonight. So If you are really interested in the savings, those expire today or tonight. But if not, this course is always open. If now isn't the best time for you to feel like you're ready to get started, no worries. But the really time-sensitive thing is the coupon code. What's the best way to find clients? That is actually something I go into in our course. I go into how I found clients when I was first starting, like as a freelancer and as a new agency, and how I find clients now. A lot of the ways we find clients now are actually more inbound. So like we are fortunate enough to not have to do a lot of like cold outreach or outbound like cold emails to contact other people. A lot of our leads come to us, and a lot of that is just done through like our internet presence. So like we spend a lot of time and we really emphasize our social media content and provide a lot of value there in addition to our blog and our downloads and courses. So I'm trying to position Homemade Social as like a thought leader in the space with you know, a lot of knowledge around social media, and that helps us to get in front of the businesses we want to work with. Okay, what to do when you feel lost with a client? Like you don't know what to create for them, a strategy, and everything seems so overwhelming and you get burnt out. I know this is broad. Jessica, that's tough. I wonder if like before your next renewal with that client, you could propose to them that you are interested in potentially like circling back on like a new strategy for them, or like you want to propose some ideas, and maybe you can book like a 30-minute or 1-hour call with that client to flesh out like, okay, here's what's working, but here's what's not working, and you can sit down with the client and get their feedback to figure out like maybe a new direction for the client. And you just have to be prepared, because ultimately the client may be like, I want to keep doing things the way they are. But you have to come to the table that day and be like, I am the expert here. This is what I recommend. I know that this isn't working. Come with like backup evidence from analytics reports or whatever. And hopefully that will help. Do you think you have to have a certain personality type to lead? I am nervous to manage people because I am a more introverted person. I don't think so. I think there are different types of leaders, and you just have to know and own your leadership style to be able to find the right team to work with. And a lot of that just comes in through trial and error and experience. Like I remember so when I first became a freelancer, I was 23, and I had some interns who worked for me who were like 21 and 22. And I remember kind of feeling this imposter syndrome, like why would they want to work with me? But there is a book I read. It is called Radical Candor. It's all about leadership styles and finding your leadership style, and I highly recommend looking into that. What was the first role I hired for? The first role I hired for, was essentially actually interns. I worked with a couple of interns first. I think I had like 2 or 3 on my team, and they just helped me like write captions and do actual social media management. Like I would train them on how to do that so that I could be a little more client facing and they could help out with content that I would obviously approve. And then one of my interns was a great fit. We really worked well together, and so I hired her on part-time to be an assistant social media manager. Okay, next question. How often do you increase your clients' prices? Is that something you typically do, or is it uncommon for your agency? Yes, I honestly recommend it. Every year you get a little more experience and you have a little more knowledge under your belt, and ideally your services are improving, and so is the value of your services. So I think it's important to increase your prices annually. And like I said, with our contract, clients are technically like bound by the terms of that contract for a maximum of a year. And so at the end of that year is when I can approach a client and propose a new price offering to them. You don't necessarily have to raise their, like, there's a lot of approaches here, and I do go into this in the course with regards to pricing and client retention. Because with certain clients, if you hate working with them, but they look really great on your portfolio, when it's time to renew, you might want to like double their rate. But if you have a client who you love, who is really low maintenance, and you work really well together, it might be appropriate to only raise their rate 10% or something. Someone says, I'm trying to make an account but can't seem to get on that website. Stephanie, why don't you shoot Homemade Social a DM and our team can assist you there. That way it'll be easier for us to communicate back and forth. Question from Kylie: when delivering a social strategy to a client, do you do a presentation, a PDF, etc.? Yes, we just started doing this where we kind of work on this live with them on a 1-hour call. We have a template that we fill out in Canva, which can then eventually be exported into a PDF. But we have a template we use from there and work on filling that information out with the client based on our knowledge and our research. Oh, yay. Okay, Marie says she's an introvert and she has a team of 7 and you can totally do it. So I believe that was for always LOLing 7. Okay, do you guys have any other questions that I can help with? Obviously, I hope to see you guys in the course. A lot of these questions are going to be answered in much more detail in the course, and the downloads that we include as well have so much information. It just makes it so that this is just like done for you and you can just implement it and focus on growing your business rather than working in your business. You're very welcome, Kylie. Okay. Well, I hope you guys had a very valuable morning with me. Thank you so much for tuning in live. I know this is a big commitment to dedicate an hour of you, but I am proud of you for tuning in and showing up for yourself and showing up for your business. I hope that 2024 is going to be an amazing year for you. Always crying, LOL 7, that's okay. I had Spunky Monkey 328. Oh yeah, feel free to show love in the comments. My team is going to be screenshotting some of them and we're going to feature them on the Homemade Social Instagram, and we'll try and find your handles if we can, so that we can tag you. So again, thank you so much. I'm going to send some hearts. I appreciate you guys, and we're always open via DM if you have further questions. You're so welcome, Valentina. Love the lunch reminder on your calendar pop-up. Oh yeah, see, I have my lunch blocked off. I'm gonna go have my lunch now. I'll exit it. You're welcome, guys. I'll say. Okay, bye. Mwah. I hope that the team got screenshots. I'm gonna screenshot it again.